Hello calculus students and seekers of truth. In this video and the next several videos, we will see how the first derivative, the second derivative, antiderivative, concavity, first derivative test, second derivative test, all these things that we've been learning in calculus, how it all applies to particle motion. But before we get to the calculus, we have to get the vocabulary down. So these are three words that we often use interchangeably, but they actually don't mean the same thing, and we have to be very precise as we move forward. So let's talk about this. So position is the location of an object or a person or a particle with respect to, I'm abbreviating with respect to, a point of reference. And that point of reference, we typically call it the zero. That's usually where zero is at. Okay. So for example, let's look at our little football field here. Let's say, for example, that the point of reference is the 20-yard line. Okay, let me draw this line a little bit better. Well, let's say that for the sake of the just for the sake of, simplicity, let's say you kicked off the football, there was a touchback, and now the point of reference is the 20-yard line. So this is considered zero. And let's define this way to be positive and then this way to be negative. So if you were on the 35-yard line, right, that means your position would be 15, would be positive 15, because with respect to the 0 point, that's the location. The displacement is the change in position. Or I should really say the net or the total change in position. So let's say that you were at this point here, position 15, and then you went forward this far up to the other 40-yard line, but then you were, for whatever reason, pushed back a little bit, and now you are on the 50-yard line. Well, your change in position with respect to where you were before, right, from the blue dot to the green dot, you change the position. Your displacement is 20, or positive 20. And finally, the distance traveled, or the distance here, is how much space that you covered, or another way to say it is how much you move, or the total amount of motion. Okay, how much movement was done over some interval. So in this example, we moved forward from this red dot to the 40-yard line. That's a total of let's see, where am I? So sorry, from this red dot, that's a total of 25 yards, right? You went forward 25, and then you went backwards 10. I should say the displacement there is negative 10, right? So forward 25, backwards 10. So that means your distance is actually 35. Okay, so you can see these three vocabulary terms here: position, displacement, and distance. They do not mean the same thing. Here in this example, we could see that there are actually three specific different numbers that refer to them. The position now originally was at 15. At the end of all the motion, the position was at 30. So the distance here, the displacement was a total distance of 20. Okay, and then finally the distance traveled from the red dot to the green dot was actually 35, because you went 25 forward and then 10 backwards. Alright, so I will end this video here, and we will look at another video that talks about acceleration, velocity, and speed.